Hi, this chapter is on dividing with a decimal divisor. So, in this chapter, that is the one thing you'll learn, how to divide when you have a decimal as your divisor, in your divisor. So here's some key words. So a dividend is basically what we divide into. So if we look at the examples below, you'll see where the dividend is placed. Usually when it's set up in this format, it's the first number. Usually when it's set up as a fraction, it's your numerator. And usually when you divide the standard way, it's on the inside. Now, if it's your divisor, it's what we divide by. So it's talking about the number of objects we want in each group when we're forming it. So you'll see it as the number we're dividing by. Here it's your numerator. And in this standard setup, it's on the outside. The quotient is your result, how many groups you have in the end and any leftovers. So you'll see it at the end, it's your answer, and that's pretty much it. Now, so how do we divide when we're given a decimal in our divisor? It doesn't matter so much when it's in our dividend, but it matters more when it's in our divisor. So if I were to write this out in the standard format and set it up, I'm dividing 144 by 1.2. Now, this makes it complicated because we have this decimal here in the divisor. So what we have to do is we actually have to eliminate it, not just by taking it out, but simply multiplying it by a power of 10, like 10, 100, 1,000, that idea until that decimal disappears. So if I set this up as a fraction, 144 divided by 1.2, basically I want to find an equivalent fraction. Since I do not want this 0.2 in my denominator, I will multiply it simply by 10 so that it causes it to turn into 12, because 1.2 times 10 is going to move that decimal place one spot to the right. But what I do to the bottom, I will do to the top. So this turns into 1,440. So now I can divide. So I'll bring this down, set up my standard way of dividing, and divide it by 12. So we'll know that 12 goes into 14 once. We have 2 left over. 12 goes into 24 twice, and we have no leftovers. And then 12 goes into 0 no times, and we have nothing. So the answer for 144 divided by 1.2 is just simply 120. And no, we don't have to divide it by 10 in the end to finalize our answer. It's done. It's because these two are equivalent fractions, so we don't really have to go backwards and divide by 10. It's just simply done. Now, if we look at the second one, we have 103.2 divided by 0.02. In this case, I have two numbers behind the decimal, so I will multiply it by 100, which means I have to do the same thing to the top. This will turn this fraction now into 2 on the bottom, and the 2 zeros cause the decimal to move 2 spots to the right, so it will be 10,320. So now I just set it up in my standard way of dividing. I divide this by 2. 2 goes into 10 with short division 5 times. 2 goes into 3 once with 1 leftover. 2 goes into 12 6 times with no leftovers, and 2 goes into 0 0 times. So my answer is 5,160, and I'm done. Now in the last example, it will continue on having a decimal. So we're going to go ahead and multiply this by 10. So this becomes 1,470 divided by 3. So when we set this up, it becomes 1,470 divided by 3. 3 goes into 14 4 times, subtract. 3 goes into 27 9 times, subtract. And 3 goes into 0 0 times. And so in this case, our answer is just simply 490. Now say you actually had a remainder here. You just simply add your decimal and zeros and just keep going like we've done before. But in this case, we don't. So at this time, pause and do the remaining 3. So here we go. Times it by 100. 24,500 divided by 5. 24,500 divided by 5. With short division, you'll have 4 left over, no leftovers. So the answer for this one is 4,900. In this case, 169 divided by 0.13 times it by 100. So I can clear up that divisor. So it becomes 16,900. 169 divided by 13. Short division, 3 leftovers, goes into it 3 times, no leftovers, and there we go. And then finally the last problem, 107 divided by 1.07 divided by 1.1. Multiply top and bottom by 10. So it becomes 10.7 divided by 11. Now remember, if you have a decimal in your dividend, it doesn't matter. It really matters more when we have it in our divisor. So we just go 10.7 divided by 11. Now 11 clearly does not go into 10, so we subtract and we're left with 107. Bring your decimal straight up because now we have to continue on. 111 goes into 107 9 times. 99 we subtract, and this will give us 8. Now I've run out of numbers. I have no more. I have to continue on. So at least 2 more spots behind the decimal. 11 goes into 80. 7 times, subtract, you get 77. Bring down a 3. Your result is 3. Bring down an extra 0. 11 goes into 30 2 times. And realistically, this is going to keep going. So our answer for the last one is 0.972. If I had to round it to 1 decimal place, this would be approximately 1.0. And that's it.